If you feel lost every time you have to move forward and play at the net, and it hurts your confidence during matches, or if you keep giving away easy points because you feel pressure whenever your opponent comes to the net, then this fourth lesson in our singles strategy series was made specially for you. Stay with me until the end of this video because I'm confident it will help you become a much smarter and more effective player around the net. And while you're here, take a second to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the tennis lessons and strategies I share every week. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference for the growth of the channel, and I truly appreciate your support. If you haven't met before, my name is Thiago. Welcome to Next Level Tennis. Let's jump into another great single strategy lesson, where today we'll focus specifically on offensive and defensive situations related to net play, how to approach the net effectively, how to finish points with confidence at the net, and what to do when your opponent is one putting pressure on you by moving forward. In a moment, I'm going to teach you the ideal way to hit an effective approach shot, what you should do with your first setup volley, and finally, how to put the point away with a finishing volley. But before we break everything down step by step, I want you to watch this point played between two professional players. On the top of your screen, you see Brazilian rising star João Fonseca, and on the bottom, Germany's Alexander Zverev. Watch the entire sequence carefully, and right after that, I'll explain exactly what makes this pattern so effective and how you can apply it in your own matches. As you can see, João Fonseca starts the point with a solid first serve directed into Alexander Zverev forehand side. Zverev manages to get the return back, but the ball lands a little short, right around the tee, giving Fonseca the opportunity to take control of the next shot. He immediately steps and uses a heavy forehand approach shot into the opposite side of the court. At this point, Fonseca begins his transition from the baseline to the net. However, when Zverev makes contact with the ball and João performs his split step, two very important factors come into play, and they ultimately determine the type of volley he chooses to hit. First, João is still positioned behind the service line, in the area commonly known as no man's land. Second, Zverev responds with a firm, low forehand shot, specially designed to neutralize the Brazilian's first volley and make him hit from a difficult position. As a result, Fonseca makes a very smart tactical decision. Instead of forcing an aggressive volley from a less than ideal position, he chooses a more conservative first volley, one that is highly effective in setting up the next phase of the point. He directs the volley down the line because Zverev is already positioned on the same half of the court. This allows Fonseca to maintain excellent net coverage, placing himself near the bisector of Zverev's available passing shot angles, and making it much harder for the German to find an open target on the next shot. By making that choice, Fonseca creates the ideal scenario for the next phase of the point, finishing it with the next volley. With Zverev arriving off balance and having to deal with a deep low ball to his backhand side, the German is left with very few options. As a result, he can only float a relatively easy ball back toward the Brazilian. Now, the situation has completely changed. Fonseca has had time to improve his court position, moving closer to the net and putting himself in a much stronger offensive position. With Zverev stretched out and recovering from the previous shot, the opposite side of the court is left wide open. Recognizing the opportunity, Fonseca executes the most logical play available, a simple cross-court put-away volley into the open court, comfortably finishing the point. This sequence perfectly illustrates one of the most important concepts of successful net play. Don't feel pressure to hit a winner with your first volley. Often, the smartest approach is to use the first volley to create a better opportunity and then finish the point with the second one. If you enjoyed this lesson so far, take a second to hit the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm to recognize that this content is valuable and allows it to reach more tennis players around the world. Also, don't forget to check out the Next Level Tennis Apparel collection. Every product was designed with great care, from one tennis player to another, to bring both style and comfort on and off the court. And if you like more personalized help improving your game, I offer biomechanical stroke analysis, match strategy analysis, and racket consulting service to help you find the perfect racket for your level and playing style. If you're interested, you'll find all the links in the video description and the pinned comment below. I'll be happy to help you take your tennis to the next level. And now we've reached the final part of today's lesson, where I'm going to show you how to deal with and neutralize opponents who like to attack by coming to the net. Before we break it down, I'd like you to watch this point between Italian professional Flavio Coboli and American player Zachary Zvaida. One of the biggest mistakes amateur players make when they see an opponent approaching the net is that they panic and become overly aggressive. They immediately try to hit a perfect passing shot and force the ball away from their opponent at all costs. The result? Too many unforced errors. Instead of trying to avoid the net player, you should learn how to involve them in the point and right away make them volley under pressure, exactly as the American player does in this rally. By staying patient and choosing high percentage targets, you force your opponent to hit additional volleys, increasing the chance they eventually miss, leave a short ball, or give you a better opportunity to attack. As you see, smart passing shot strategy isn't about hitting spectacular winners. It's about putting the net player in uncomfortable situations and making them earn every volley. In this particular point, the American player also benefits from a little bit of luck, as the ball clips the net and makes life even more difficult for the Italian. But regardless of that fortunate bounce, the key lesson you should focus and try to copy is the decision-making process. Notice that he doesn't try to avoid the net player by going for a spectacular low percentage passing shot. Instead, he plays a simple cross-court backhand through the middle portion of the net. However, the most important detail you should copy is the ball trajectory. He keeps the ball low, making it extremely difficult for his opponent to attack with a volley. As a result, the Italian is forced to hit a more neutral and even slightly defensive volley. That allows the American to take advantage on the next shot and finish the point with a two-shot passing shot. This is a much smarter and more reliable approach than trying to hit a miracle passing shot from the very beginning. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you missed any of the previous episodes in this series, where I teach the most important tactical patterns and strategy in tennis, make sure to check out the playlist linked on your screen and watch all of the lessons. And if you'd like to keep improving your game with practical tennis strategies that actually work, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. See you in the next video. I'm Thiago from Next Level Tennis, tennis that actually works.